In this video lesson we will learn how to create pop-up screen with indirect text. First we create pop-up screen. We create pop-up screen for our motors and create name, motor proper name for text, and let's create some area for description of our pop-up screen. Here we place the name of our motor. Let's place the name motor label and let's fill it with color black, and let's use the label, the text field, for the demonstration name of the motor. We bind this label to the text. We have to create text for our pop-up screen. For example, we use tag name with string data type and bind this tag to our label in front of motor, after motor. And let's create a room label to demonstrate where this motor is located. It's better to rename it to the area, I think, but you can name it like you want. And let's create some properties of our motor. We get properties from the tags that bind to this motor. Now let's create caption, some caption, and let's name it motor properties label, also with black color, and let's align this and make it with underline. Let's create state and bind this to do new text state that we placed on the same group motor pop-up text. And depending on the state, we'll place text normal between 0 and 1, warning between 2 and 3, and damage between 4 and 5. And change color also depending on text value and also in the range. You can see between 0 and 1 white, yellow and red accordingly. Let's create our properties speed that concerning our motor. And let's just bind this tag to the speed created also in the motor pop-up text group. Next, alarm. Alarm we bind also to the text we created for this screen pop-up, and bind to the ellipse graphical object, and depending on the value of alarm it will be red or green. And next property of our motor will be mode, manual, or will be command. Command will be depend on the command text of the motor. Let's align some, make some alignment, and let's bind this command to the button. We choose toggle button and make it 2D, and depending on the tag of the text value command, it will be value 1 or 0, and text on or off. And last property is mode, manual or auto. Let's rename mode and use control object menu, and depending on the value of the mode text value, it will be man or after, manual or after. Let's make some alignments. And resize our window. It become too big for our objects. Let's enter SCADA properties and resize. Also replace button close to close this pop-up window. That's it. Let's check it's working. It's properly working. It seems working properly. We have to change speed to the value, not to the text range. Okay, we will make some fixes, and now text is bind properly. Now let's call this pop-up window from our main window, and by clicking on proper motor. We make it visible like we did in the previous window, previous lesson, and let's place this button over our motor. Now we have to place this button to the group. For this we drag and drop over the group name object, and now our button placed inside the group. We rename to the group keyword group, and now it's named M01 like our group. Now we have to create new use-defined property. We will call this room, and there we place name of our area, first floor. And now we have to call pop-up by clicking on when user clicks this button. For this property we choose function called popup and place arguments name and room. These arguments we will place on the global arguments when calling popup. We get these global arguments in our script. We create a script, screen, language as test, static text, and it will be called when screen is opened. And now we have to get our value by using function get global argument. We placed in the room, in the global argument room, and default value empty. And now we have to place to the pop-up text name, global argument name. And now we have to assign all pop-up text to the motor arguments, but do it indirectly. We have to get name of our motor. In the first motor it will be M01. We can check it by printing it, and now we can get all text by using indirectly name and some tip like state for the text state, like speed for speed, and all the text assigned in the same way. So we'll get all text indirectly by using name of our motor and text type. And the last value text comment equal tag value name last comment. Yes, and let's check. Let's place this script in our motor properties pop-up screen and let's check. Yes, we've got first floor. Let's check. Change some motor text values, and we've got all values but room first floor without white space. Let's change to first floor with underline instead of white space with box. But let's try. Okay, it doesn't work with white space. Okay, we'll check it, and maybe in the next version we'll fix it. But in this video we will use underline instead of white space. And now we have to create. Let's check. It works. And now let's create some other script for the screen, and it will we use language structured text, screen type, and execution on data change. So when data change of the script is changed, it will be executed. And we have to get name that we put on the global argument. We didn't delete this argument, and it's the same name, in our case M01, if we click on this button. And we have, during execution, get the values from the current text that we use. For example, if we call screen for the M01, we get changes of values for M01 state, alarm, speed, and so on. But some values we are changing in pop-up screen, for example, mode and command. So we had to set these values for our motor text. Let's place this script to our screen motor properties. Yes, we add it, and let's check it. And we see the text changed, and this value also changed. Now we have to place the same call buttons to all motors. The easiest way is to use apply changes for template. We use the same properties for all motor templates. For example, M02 also have this button, and we can check it by changing speed, and now speed is changed. And calling pop-up screen for M02, but we have room first floor. We have to change it in the button. To do this, we have to use project properties and change the room property to the second floor. And the same thing we do for the motor 3. Find this group object and change to the basement room name. And now we can check it by changing alarm for basement, speed, state, and call. We see speed without decimal position. We have to change tag properties, tag label properties, and decimal position, and before decimal position set to 2. Now we have decimal position in speed value. Okay, it all works properly, and change accordance tags, for example. Now we have to check it in runtime. We change some screen dimensions because it's too big for our runtime. And let's open this project. We have to change header. Let's move it. And let's check run simulator, and let's change speed. It's displayed on our motors, according motors, and state. We have to change state. It's text, and let's call properties and try to change command. We can see text is changed, but we can see some problems. When we call screen, the value is written in the simulator. The reason of this, the script on data change is called before the onOpen script. So we have to avoid this. For this purpose, we create a new global argument motor popup opened. We place it in the onOpen motor properties, and when this script is executed, it's place 1 to this global argument. Now in the data change motor properties script, we will get this motor properties value, and if the screen is already opened, we can now change text value so you can see how it works. And now we have to change global argument to 0 again. Let's compile the script and let's check. Let's try to change, but unfortunately values didn't change, so we made some mistake. No, the values didn't change of our mode and command. So we have to place this put global argument to 0 in when the screen is already closed, not in the data changed. So when the screen is closed, we place this value. Let's add this closed script to our screen, and let's check again. Open this project. But it still doesn't work in some reasons. So no, it's not working. The mode and didn't change. Mode and the command bit didn't change. Sometimes it changed, but sometimes it didn't. Oh, we forget to compile on data change motor after replacing put global argument function. Let's check again. Now it's changed, so you can see it works. So we use the same pop-up for all the motor templates, for all the motor objects in our project. We could create for every motor pop-up screen, but it's not optimal. We create one pop-up screen for every motor and bind tags indirectly by using script properties and global arguments. So you can see it works. We changed speed, and it's changed not only in main menu, in main screen, but also in motor properties pop-up screen. And we click command and mount it, and changed value in main screen and our simulator. Thank you for watching.